I'ma do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. Okay. We work hard, then we all play.
Welcome to the channel, everyone. If you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. So in the previous video, I painted this using an electric spray gun that cost $17 from Harbor Freight and a gallon of tractor paint from Tractor Supply. Used a hardener and reducer. It's single stage paint, so it does not require a clear coat. Now you can put clear coat over this, but I'm okay with how glossy it is right now. So the only real issue we had was the orange peel and a couple little runs. So today I'm going to wet sand this and polish it and try to get the runs out the best I can. But if I don't get them all the way out, I'm not going to be too worried about it. But as you can see, there's a run here and there's a couple on the other side. Now this is before wet sanding at all. This is after wet sanding. You can see it's a lot hazier. Now this is after I had polished it. Now you can see it has a deeper reflection and it looks a lot better. You can see the reflection really well. Now you can get these good results using the method I'm using, but we had an issue where bugs were landing in it. Because I don't have a shop anymore since moving to Texas, I get bugs in my paint because I'm painting outside with no roof or anything like that. So I'm going to show you how I wet sand and try to get these runs out. Before I get started, I did want to show you that there is some light turquoise from the previous paint that showed up after I was trying to remove runs because the paint wasn't fully cured. I'm on day 3 now and it seems to be doing okay, so hopefully 3 days out in the sun is long enough for your guys' paint job. I will have to repaint, but I'm not going to do that in this video. I won't worry about it right now. I still have half a gallon left, so it's not too big of a deal. Basically scuff this up, tape everything off, and repaint it one more time, but I'll probably do that later on. Alright, so using some 600 grit, I'm going to knock this down a lot faster. Now, be cautious using 600 grit because it is more aggressive. Most people like to start around 800 to 1000. Since this is tractor paint, it's pretty durable. We can knock it down a little bit faster since the severity of the orange peel. I like to use one of these little foam sanding blocks you can get from AutoZone for pretty cheap. That way it has some curvature to it, it's flexible, it's not so stiff, because this does have quite a bit of curves. What I'm basically going to do is get a bucket full of soapy water, and I'm just going to scuff this up until it looks like this part over here. And I'm going to do it over the run as well. Now typically I'd razor blade these, but they still feel kind of soft, so I don't know if it's a good idea yet. We'll try to knock it down as much as we can with the sandpaper and then go from there. Now we're going to take some 2000 and we're going to wet sand as well. So yeah, this right here is what it should look like. Right here means you didn't get good enough sanding. This definitely isn't good enough, and this is not at all. It should be nice and smooth feeling like that. Now there will still be orange peel, but I'm okay with a little bit of orange peel, but if you want to get rid of all of it, you're gonna have to spend a lot more time wet sanding. Alright, as for the compound, I use Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. Works pretty good, and it's pretty cheap. You can get it at Walmart and Harbor Freight and other places. I'm using a Drill Master buffer from Harbor Freight with the yellow foam pad, and I'm going to apply some of the compound to it. As you can see, it still has some orange peel. It's gonna need work a little bit more, but the reflection is so much better than before. That's the before, and that's the after. Definitely a lot less orange peel on this area, and it's way deeper gloss to it. Now you can see that run, you can still see it. So with this, we're probably gonna have to work on it some more, but I'm not an expert at getting runs out by any means. So when I go to repaint this, I'm gonna scuff this whole thing down with probably 400 grit wet sand and then reshoot. And I'm gonna make sure to get this knocked down really well. Even factory cars have orange peel, so it is completely normal to have orange peel. Now this is just an excessive amount. So knocking this down, using some 600 grit wet sand, it should eventually look a little closer to factory. If you want to surpass the factory orange peel, you can spend a lot more time, but you will have to have multiple coats on in order to do so. So I'm gonna go ahead and try some more. All right, so it is a little bit hazier this time around, so we'll go ahead and hit it with some polish and see if it smooths out. Alright, so that's the before we did anything. That's after we've wet sanded and buffed a little bit. And this is after wet sanding and buff even more. Now it does still have orange peel, so it's going to have to be worked quite a bit more. As you can see though, my reflection is pretty clear. And back here, this was last night's wet sanding and buffing where I spent a lot more time on it. And as you can see, it has a pretty good reflection there. Now if you want this orange peel knocked down more, definitely work on it a little bit longer and a little bit harder, and you'll get the results that you want. Now, since I'm gonna go ahead and repaint this one more time after I fully wet sand the entire car down, I'm not too worried about it right now, orange peel wise, and I still have some runs on this side to get out. As you can see right there, definitely some runs, but I'm gonna have to let it harden up a little bit more before I even consider repainting. And I'll probably just whip out the compressor and mix the stuff up and shoot it that way. This was just as an experiment, and it worked. I mean, it really did. It worked really well. It's just a lot of orange peel, a lot of wet sanding required. It's really hot not having a garage here in Texas and doing all this stuff outside under a tree. So if you guys want to do this method, it will work for you, and you can get some pretty amazing results, because that is a really deep gloss. But like I said, that orange peel is not up to par for everyone. So if you want to spend some time on it, I'm out of funds right now, so I can't afford any other sandpaper or anything like that. So it's just going to have to kind of stay how it is. I'll probably just buff this quarter panel and that door out a little bit and leave it for now. Then we'll go through wet sand and repaint. I know this wasn't the most amazing video on how to do this. I'm just working with what I have, guys. So if you didn't like the video, I totally understand. But if you did, hit the like button, drop a comment below. But I will have more on this car, so definitely stay tuned. I will have video of me painting those door jambs and getting this thing to where I consider it perfect for me. Now, what I consider good for me isn't always good for everyone else, but I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, the orange peel could be a little bit less, but that gloss reflection is really nice. So thanks for watching the channel. Stay tuned for more videos, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below.